Hello, this is Mike, and I'm going to be going over my stealthy, blitzing, melee guy that walks around the Commonwealth and smacks people in the skull with a giant fishing rod thingy called Smacky. As you can see, he's pretty far along. He's got a full set of combat armor, a sweet Stars and Stripes bandana, and some plus charisma glasses for his vision. Looks pretty cool with the full set of power armor. Although I gotta say, I don't really like the aesthetic of the shoulder pieces. Kind of giant pauldron type things that just look a little ridiculous with this guy's dainty little shoulders. But they provided better armor, and I think they might be pretty close to best in slot for this build. So I guess they have to stay. They don't look that terrible. But on to the gear. So here we have the headpiece, which is renamed just for convenience. I find myself being more and more of a pack mule and pack rat and stuff in dungeons and different layers. So I like to have all the gear that I wear just directly on top. You can do this at the workbench whenever you modify your armor. Just by adding a couple of dashes in front of it, it helps out surprisingly whenever you're trying to quickly unload gear. Of course, yes, I could lose the Stars and Stripes bandana and the wedding ring and the glasses, but I think they make them look pretty badass. Pretty damn American. But the headpiece is the Destroyer's helmet that you can purchase in the Covenant settlement before you murder all of its inhabitants for torturing synthetic beings and whatnot. +1 charisma intelligence, pretty good. I like the combat armor because it provides virtually on every single piece. It does provide equal ballistic and equal energy protection, and they're both pretty good. I don't think they're top tier, but it's pretty excellent coverage, and the weight isn't extremely high. So being a stealthy melee character kind of helps out a lot. So I'm actually going to look at these in the workbench. I can go over the mods that I applied as well. So the helmet has the polymer combat armor. That's the best one you can get. I put the Biocom mesh on because it provides an increased duration of your chems by 50%. One thing that I found just absolutely and utterly overpowering with this build is that with chems, even legendary giant creatures will fall to just a couple of hits if you can strike them from stealth. If not, then you just gotta keep smacking them until they go down. But having that extra chem time is just so fantastic. Another benefit to being the good guy siding with the railroad is that you get the ballistic weave. I put this on, I believe, army fatigues, which give +2 agility, very good for stealthy builds, and you just can't beat that extra 110 and 115. Plus, I think it goes really well with the combat armor setup motif you got going with your character. And back to the chest. I think this is purchasable from Deb at Bunker Hill. I renamed it, of course. I think it's the Black Ops chest piece. And I mean, all these are just going to be polymer combat armor upgraded fully. Now, with the left arm and the right arm, these are both items that I purchased. They were very expensive, so save up a bunch of caps for them. They have the polymer combat armor and the weighted. I used weighted because it provides, your melee attacks ignore some of the target's armor, and unless you're using some legendary, rocket sledge or legendary melee weapon that applies energy damage or radiation damage, most of your damage is going to be coming from ballistic. So ignoring some of the armor is fantastic, I think, with the arms.
What?
Which I applied to both of them. So that 10% reduction cost in for your action points and VATs. Also just super good. Super good on every piece of gear you can get. I think I only have it on one of my armor pieces. This is the Sentinel bonus. Reduces damage while you're not moving, which factors in really well to this gameplay because most of the time in combat, you're gonna be using VATs to blitz at your target. Mostly from stealth, honestly. A lot of people don't detect you. And that actually doesn't count as moving for some reason or not whenever you VATs and blitz at them. So you get, you know, the 15% if they're shooting at you and just teleporting around the battle, killing people. Now as for the left and right leg, I have just increases movement speed by 10% with some polymer combat armor. I used sleek on these because you move faster while you're sneaking, and basically whenever I'm going through a place that has a bunch of raiders or anything, I'm kind of constantly sneaking, so you can get those really huge stealth bonuses to crit damage and everything. I think it's 10 plus 10.6% attack. So that is the lowdown on the armor pieces that he's wearing. They all kind of work in conjunction to just give me a well-rounded overall,
Yes?
you know, enjoyable experience in the Commonwealth. Now, as for the weapon that I'm currently using, I upgraded this from my endgame weapon in the Commonwealth maybe 20 minutes after I got to Far Harbor, and it's kind of strange how much better it is. So with Magnolia, if we look here, you know, we can get Magnolia, the bat that has 40% less cost in bats. We can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can get 9 power attacks with that. Or, sorry, 9 VATS attacks. And then if we use Smacky, which has 90 more damage, 90 more, we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9. So we're off by 1 less attack, but 90 damage each more attack. And when you couple that with the way that this character kind of goes around in combat most of the time, I'm kind of stealthy little guy. You just sort of go around and you use your blitz attack to just instantly go in and attack someone. It's pretty fantastic. So here we go. Let's get hidden. Detected. Let's get hidden and show this off. See it. Okay, so now we're hidden, and we should get that bonus. So here we go. Right, that's sneak attack for 10.6 times damage is pretty outrageous. Well, I don't necessarily want Preston to hate me. I'm trying to get him to be my good buddy. So we'll just quick save out of that and not kill Trash Can Carla because she's crazy. But like I said, this is the end game weapon I used in the Commonwealth for the basic game, and then upgraded as soon as I got to Far Harbor. I just think that the 40% less action point cost is so valuable because you just kind of use VATs the entire time in combat. You just zip around the battlefield, sneak attacking people for 10.6 times the attack damage, and it's just outrageous. So to go into the perks of why this build is so powerful, we have to look at all of the perk points we have. You can see this guy is got a high level. Just finished the Far Harbor DLC, so I've killed quite a few enemies and finished a lot of quests. Maxed out, I think, strength, endurance, intelligence, and agility. Working the way on luck because it's very good with VATS builds. You just end up wanting all of those criticals, especially after you get this better criticals. 2.5 times is just too good. Too good to pass up. And the luck fills your crit meter a lot faster too when you use your VATS, so it helps out just a ton. Pretty much necessary for the build. Big leagues, of course. Blacksmith is really good. You know, it's the equivalent of gun nut for people that use guns. It's just melee weapons. Armor, of course, helps you add those top tier ranks, polymer to your combat armor and everything. If you wanted to be even sneakier, you could go with leather armor. I'm pretty sure it's lighter weight. If you want to go with building a bunch of settlements, I feel like strong back is absolutely necessary. Allows you to just pack rat and pick every single thing up whenever you're clearing an area out, and then you'll walk out of the building, fast travel back to your settlement, sell all the weapons and armor and ammo to the vendors that you've built up, and then of course store all the junk and build a bunch more stuff in your settlement. So Rooted is fantastic with this build because, as I've mentioned earlier, whenever you're using the VATS system with Blitz, you actually count as not moving. You're standing still whenever you teleport to people and then hit them, so you get that 50 damage resist and 50% more damage. It's just a huge amount of damage, especially having 10 base strength. I didn't put any points, I don't think, into perception, maybe one, and I got the bobblehead. For endurance, endurance is just, you know, all around very good. I'd recommend, you know, at least putting a hard 4 points into it so you can start getting the chem resistant early on, because it's the build in conjunction with using Psycho and Psycho Buff and Fury and you know, these buffs are all the drugs just make you have so much strength and so much more resistance that it's incredibly powerful with the build. So, you know, making yourself not get addicted to the chems, which end up hurting you, is good perk points used. I decided to put one into solar powered because I maxed out endurance. It's pretty good. Get, you know, 2 of your most important stats for half of the time. A lot of the time it's kind of annoying to have followers, so I went ahead and kind of wandered around with Dogmeat. He's not the best. You end up murdering him a lot with the big leagues. I just kind of kept him because he's a really cool companion. You could put dog armor on him and everything. It's pretty fantastic. Like I said, I like to build settlements with the strong back, so you have to get this to build shops in your settlements, and then you can build... Okay, so you gotta get local leader to build shops, and then you have to get this to invest in them and everything. And then Party Boy is fantastic as well, because you're able to craft these drinks called Dirty Wastelanders, which I think increase your strength by 4 and your charisma by 2, with this effects doubled. I think when I level up next, I'm going to go ahead and get this, because luck is so valuable. It's spending 1 perk point to get 3 in something that you already want, and you're basically always under the influence of alcohol. Or at least my character is. Whenever I'm in combat, I'm just constantly drinking beers. I have, you know, beers, alcoholic drinks on my first 3 of my favorite bar. So you're gonna constantly be just walking around using, you know, drinking alcohol. Intelligence, super important. I don't think medic is that important. I think I got that earlier when I was having some trouble staying alive in a couple of fights. Science is for upgrades I wanted for the town. I think I wanted lasers. Chemist is integral to the build as well, so it works with this chem resistant. Makes every chem you take last 200% longer, and then you add in that 50% from your biocom mesh on your chest piece. It just makes all of these drugs that you know constantly are making and constantly using in combat last a lot longer, so they go a lot further. I decided to opt into this because it just kind of makes your invincible character already more invincible. I actually haven't, I don't think this procced a single time though in my run through the DLC. Didn't use it a single time. It's really cool when it does pop because everything slows down. It's basically getting a free jet for your character, and jet is always super useful. A lot of the time, if things start to get a little hairy, you can pop a jet, use all of your action points attacking someone. If they don't die in that period, you can just pop into your Pip-Boy, drink a Nuka-Cola Quantum, restore all of your action points, and then give them a whole other 8 or 9 hits in your VATS, and that usually takes out just about everyone. So the Nerd Rage is pretty, it's a cool thing to have, I guess. Agility helps you sneak. Obviously, you're just going to get in sneak here, so you can get that ninja benefit, which is huge. Look at that. Look at that. Melee attacks do 4 times. Melee attacks do 5 times. Melee attacks do 10 times normal damage. Outrageous amounts of damage you do. And then Blitz is the most important part of the build. I think I started out with 9 agility specifically just to use Blitz as early as possible in this build. So for the ending part of the DLC, Far Harbor, when I was leveling up a lot, I started to put a lot of points into luck. Just because this, being a VATS character, you really build up a lot of criticals, so having those be better is fantastic. And I'm starting to invest in this 4-leaf clover perk, so an excellent chance of filling your critical meter. And it just being able to pop out more criticals that do more damage is just going to make you even more unstoppable at this point. So on to the actual gameplay. Let's see here. Let's see, can we
Where to next?
Can we fast travel to a zone and kill some bad guys? Yeah, let's dismiss Preston.
Hey, what do you need? What's on your mind?
And then we'll go ahead and
It's time for us to part ways.
we'll just have him stay in Sanctuary, and we'll come back
You
and
know
get
where
him.
to find me if you need me.
So here we go. Now we have the Lone Wanderer perk. And you actually get that perk even if you have Dogmeat with you, which is pretty awesome. I think Gunner's Plaza is a pretty hard place to fight in. Not 100% sure. I think it says they get harder the further south you go. So let's go find some bad guys. So this is perfect. It's nighttime for us. So the way I usually go into combat, you want to take some Fury. Increases your melee damage. You're going to drink a Dirty Wastelander. 6 strength and 2 charisma. Boom. Going to eat the Grilled Hermit Crab, which also gives you 2 endurance and 2 strength. I'm going to take some Med X for resistance. I'm going to take Psycho Buff for an additional 3 strength and 3 endurance. Some Rad X as well. And then what else usually... what do I have? I think it's Psycho... I have it here. Psycho Buff. Jet Fuel. There it is. Jet Fuel increases your action point refresh speed. And then Overdrive increases your critical chance. So here we are sneaking up. Let's see if we can find some bad guys. Of course. So the sneak is pretty good here. So here's the legendary gunner. Let's give him a 1-2. 10.6 one-shot legendary gunner.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. And of course we just take everything we want. So let's show you the truly awesome nature of this build. So here in VATS we're gonna go boom, 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 and kill everything. There's another sneak attack. Alright, so now we're out of here. Here's another legendary. So here, he's gonna mutate, and we'll pop the crit on him. Boom. So still just in 1 VATS, and if you look at the action point regen here, it's just kind of outrageous how fast it's going up through combat. There's that nice ballistic weave helping us out. Let's go ahead and get in here. One of the annoying things is that people shooting at you from up, you just kind of got to go in the building. You can't take out people from windows. But one way you can, I kind of use this sparingly now because you got to go get it each time. But you can also pop this mysterious serum. So if we look over at ourselves right now, there's 27 strength, and 17 endurance. Look, 1,107 hit points. And go ahead and stim pack. Get our HP up. But if we look over at our weapon, if you guys remember how much it was doing earlier, I think it was 310. We're now doing over double that damage. And then you also multiply that damage by 10.6 for sneak attacks. Let's see if we can get in here. So another thing you can also pop, which helps out a lot if you're kind of wealthy, which is pretty dope. These stealth boys help out just a ton with getting into areas. I had Deacon follow me for quite a while in Far Harbor, so these actually last 40% longer. And the game is just pretty much broken at this point with stealth boys that last forever. And one-shots of the bad guys. It's just a little too easy. But as you can see, the build is incredibly powerful when it comes to just clearing out, you know, even somewhat endgame guys. Especially if you're able to get the sneak attacks, because that just 10.6 is so outrageous when you're doing 680 damage. That's 6,000 damage. I think more than 6,000 damage. So yeah, that's the build pretty much. It's really fun to play. I like the sneaking around. I like being able to build settlements, and it's just really awesome sometimes when he does the kill animation specifically, because sometimes he'll chop people's heads off with it, just take them out. We got a little free combo move with. Let's see if we can get one. No, these are all just one shots. It's kind of hard to find guys that want to resist me.
What?
Are they down here? Where are they? It'll make it easier for them to find me. Just a little bit broken of a build. Oh, apparently I had not located the guns and bullets. That's okay, because I do not use guns or bullets, except for trading. So here we go, here we go. Disarmed. Oh, here's the enemy. Oh no, he just pulled him down. He's using a little ripper on me. Worked out well. Where did she run off to? Where did you go, little girl?
You're dead.
Now I'm confused. If I miss them in vets, a lot of people just kind of run away from me. They're scared. But that's the build. Pretty fun. If you want to check it out, it makes the game a little bit easy, but I feel like most characters at level 85 will just kind of be able to take on virtually anywhere in the Commonwealth as long as they're using a pretty decked out weapon. Well, thanks for checking in, guys. Y'all have a good rest of your day.